Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning, 15 minutes to change our lives. The Kutei Sichas edition. So, Emet Hashem, we live in Chassidus. We're going to, one second. Okay, we're going to try something new this year that we want to go to learn through the Kutei Sichas. Aleph to Daled at the fundamental sichas. Rabbi Yoel said this is like the practical chassidus of the Rebbe, and this is really where you get to see the Rebbe's shitta on what a chassid meant to look like, live like. The later ones are a lot more scholar and Teredik, so I think this is a perfect thing to learn. And just this first sicha, it was a life-changing experience for me, and hopefully we can have this when we go throughout the whole year. Mitzvah Hashem, we have different. Like we're going basically Aleph to Daled. So not every week we're going through every Sicha, but every week we're going to get a vart, something that we can think about and live with. And Mitzvah Hashem, with this will have its effect. Hashem will be able to have Pulis B'Kerev Haaretz, Yeshua's B'Kerev Haaretz. Okay, with that, let's begin. So this is Likutei Sichas Chelek Aleph. I asked the monk thing. You might have sent it in the chats. This is the first Sicha, and the first everything Likutei Sichas. And remember, Likutei Sichas is what was edited by the Rebbe. We have the Sichas that the Rebbe said, and they were printed, but the Rebbe didn't look them over. Likutei Sichas were edited by the Rebbe, so meaning this is the Rebbe's Haskama 100%. Let's go. Yes, this is another quick story that when I first learned this, I just got married. I went to Israel, went to Sukkot, and I was sitting in the yeshiva, and I know I learned. And I said, you know what, let's show inspiration. Let me pull out the Sicha. So I went to go pull it out. And I said, you know what, let's start from the beginning. I'll pull the first one. I pulled it out. I started learning. I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. So Mitzvah Hashem will all feel the same way. Let's go. Parshas Bereishis. So you do a Pizgam Bereishis Yenu Chabad. It's known what the Rebbeim, the saying of the Rebbeim about Shabbos Bereishis mashpia al kol shana kol. The way you stand, the way you act, the way your Shabbos Bereishis is, that affects al kol shana kol the whole year. It's a known famous thing, I remember when I was in yeshiva, or in other yeshivas, I wasn't never Shabbos Bereishis, they would say that the Rosh Yeshiva would say Kiddush Mashka, which he never did, not even on Yom Kippur, not even on Simchas Torah. And it was known that Shabbos Bereishis you hold. So what does this mean? Does this mean that in Shabbos Bereishis you act perfect and the whole year perfect? What's going on? And now there's of course many different interpretations to this. We're going to learn one way to understand this. So a lot of times people think themselves have to be just perfect Shabbos Bereishis, so we're good. I was at a friend last night and they said, some people they make sure to learn some niglas, some chassidus, some halacha, different things, and somehow that's going to magically make your whole year. So this is the Rebbe's take on it. So the way we stand ourselves on this day in the Shabbos, that's how you act the whole year. That's what it says. That's the meaning. So the Rebbe asks a very partial shayla. Why Shabbos Bereishis? So let's see. Why does it depend on Shabbos Bereishis? Why not the Shabbos or Yom Matan Torah? Wouldn't that make more sense? The way you stand yourself on the Shabbos of Matan Torah, that's how the whole week is going to be. What happens? What's so special about Shabbos Bereishis that makes it different, that makes it auspicious for this? You have other parshas that have mitzvahs you don't hear, only in that parsha is that mitzvah. So it's also a very special parsha. When I get the and some of the mitzvahs that are dependent the whole year round, they affect the whole year. So what's specific? What's so special about Shabbos Bereishis? That's the question. What does it mean? Like, we understand that it says this meaning Shabbos Bereishis has effect for the whole year. But why specifically Shabbos Bereishis? Why not any other Shabbos? So now, in order to understand this, we have to understand some information. And ultimately, remember, like we said, I've talked about this before. When we learn a Sicha, the Rebbe has a question. Why don't you give me the answer? Because the Rebbe is here trying to teach us a way to see the world. And now the Rebbe is going to give us information that's going to help us change the way we see the world. Or hopefully not change. We already have this hanacha. But if not, help us look at the world differently. And when we look at the world through this lens, through these lenses, so then we understand everything. And that will help us change our life. And this year coming forward, Mitzvah Hashem will be a different year. Let's see. Base. Bereishis bara lekim s'shemaim v'aretz. The uvda, the proof that Hashem created bara, created the heaven and the earth. Kolom meaning Shakadosh Baruch Hu bara za'elam kulei ma'ayin ve'efes hamuchlak. Hashem created the world from the ultimate nothingness. Meaning before the world was created, there was true nothingness. Medlicha be'hechrech. The maskana, so it comes out from this information that Shabriya miskayemes mechad v'chol rega. Like we know from Tanya, from Shiur, that every single moment the world is being recreated. Right now, every single moment the world is brand new. It's like the famous story. There was a Ferengian and the Chassidim was stressing out. They had to go to the airport and they made a special Ferengian for them. And they wanted to catch the plane. And the Rebbe said to them, the plane hasn't been created yet. So what does that mean? The plane hasn't been created yet. He's saying the plane that you are going to fly on hasn't been created, because every single moment the world is being created. The awesome chidush, awesome novelty that happened on the 6 days of creation, when the ultimate true nothingness came, something, a feeling, something that feels itself as an existence. This happened every single moment. Constantly is this brand new creation. So we are brand new every single moment. And there's so many ways you can farang about this. Just because something happened a second ago doesn't mean you're a different person. You know, you're a new person right now. And as we say, Shemuzbar Batanya, as explains in Shaar Yichud, Bereishis, Bereishis Pasuk, in the explanation of the Pasuk, Hashem, forever your words are standing in heaven. And the Chassidus explains that the truth of the matter is, what this means is that the fact that we exist is not that we exist. We essentially are ayin ve'efes, are nothing. But because there's creation, Hashem is creating us. He's saying we should be in existence. That's how we exist. It's like the mashal. We'll finish. Even now we're still ayin ve'efes. And our whole existence because Hashem is making us exist right now. And therefore, automatically, our whole existence is l'kus. Meaning like this, and explained it in Tanya, it is a mashal of a rock flying in the air. Now, does the rock fly in the air? Rocks don't fly in the air, but I see a rock going in the air. So what's happening over here? That's because there's a life force being put into that rock that's causing it to fly in the air. Without that life force, the rock goes back down. So too with us. Do we exist? Essentially not. What do you mean? But I'm here and I see myself. That's because God is creating you now. And every single moment he's making that. By nature, you don't exist. The only reason why you do exist is because Hashem is making you exist. And Hashem is saying you should exist now, and you should exist now. And constantly happening every single moment. Just like the rock flying in the air, because every single moment there's that energy pushing it to go in the air. And if that energy goes away, it goes back to the floor. It goes back to being its nature. And our nature is that we don't exist. I know it's a little bit of a wild idea, but if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. If Hashem is creating us, then the reason why we exist is because we're being created. So like it's famous Vart that we say, I remember I used to say when I was younger, people would talk about it, that if you ask a person that doesn't know Chassidus, Hashem wanted to destroy the world, what does he need to do? So they'd say, oh, you'd make storms and tornadoes and big fires and earthquakes. And you ask the Chassid that learns about Chassidus, what does Hashem need to do to destroy the world? Just stops creating. And the world will go back as if there's nothing ever happened. It won't be that he doesn't have to destroy the world. The world just doesn't have to, he has to stop creating the world. Just like the rock, the power that stops being put into the rock so it won't fly, it will stop and it'll go back down. Does a rock naturally fly? No, it doesn't. But why is it moving in the air? Because there's that life force being put into it, making it exist. And so too with us. Our existence is not a natural thing. We don't naturally exist. We naturally don't exist. But Hashem is deciding every single moment that we should to exist, and that's how we exist. And this is what we see, and we see this from Pashat Bereishis. Bereishis bar Elokim, that the creation, the creation that's happening is because of the fact that Hashem is deciding from the Ayin Efes Muchlat to make us into a Yesh, from the true nothingness to a something. Now, I'll go outside and we'll stop here, and tomorrow we'll finish it off. So now the Rebbe is going to say like this. So now with this information, we understand why Shabbos Bereishis is a Shabbos. Because what is this teaching us? Hashem creates the world every single moment. And the reason why I exist is because Hashem is making me exist now. Now, if that's what's happening, if Hashem is making me exist right now, so I need to ask myself, the guy that's creating me, what does he want from me? He's making me exist. And Hashem wants us to do Torah mitzvahs. So if this is my hanacha, this is the way I see my reality, that I don't really exist. And the only reason I exist is because Hashem is creating me. And Hashem wants from me what? To do Torah mitzvahs. So therefore, what's the challenge of doing Torah mitzvahs? The whole challenge of Torah mitzvahs goes away. There's no challenge. I could do Torah mitzvahs. What do you mean? But I got to go to work and I got to do these things and I can't fit it in. What do you mean you can't fit it in? The only reason why you exist is because Hashem made you exist. So how can Hashem that made you exist can make you in a situation that you can't do Torah mitzvahs? Now, we're not talking about the Yetzer Hara. This is part of the way to deal with the Yetzer Hara. This is how you have to speak the Yetzer Hara. What we're saying is, it's given us a hanacha, like an axiom in life, that there's nothing that can get in the way of meeting Torah mitzvahs. It can't be. Because Hashem created me, and that's what he wants. And that's sort of what we're learning here. And once we understand that, our lives change and all our challenges go away. And then we can understand why Shabbos Bereishis specifically is this special Shabbos that where we stand ourselves up on Shabbos Bereishis affects the whole year. Because if we can start our year with this hanach, this mindset and this realization, and we realize that we're just being created by Hashem, and the reason why he wants us to be is to do Torah mitzvahs. So then doing Torah mitzvahs is easy. There's nothing to challenge. And with that, we will continue tomorrow and Mitzvah Hashem finish it off so we can start Pashas Noach, the whole nother Sicha, another thing to learn with. Thank you very much for joining and have a great day.